We are back. Welcome to the Cheat Seats live in Las Vegas. Not live because I'm going to record it, put it out, and it's going to take a while to upload. But good to have you again. This will be night 2, but this is our 4th night here. So we're going every other night that we've been here in Las Vegas. You know Kaycee, Clark Malai, he was on the last installment of this show. Now we have my friend AJ Jain, Akshat Jain.
Anything's
Yeah,
good.
you go by both. All right, but AJ and Kaycee are here. We just wrapped up, like we said, 4th day in Vegas. This is Friday night, and we are 48 hours away from the Super Bowl, almost.
Yep.
Oh, less than 48 hours away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
My goodness, my math is not doing great. We're on the Las Vegas diet. We've had a beautiful couple meals of In-N-Out and Raising Cane's. At least Kaycee and I did. Not AJ. AJ had a healthier lunch. What'd you get for lunch today?
I had a spicy eggplant wrap from the Mama Fuku pop-up.
In the Cosmopolitan.
At the Cosmo, yeah.
Hey,
Stay
alright.
away from the tables there.
Took too much money from you?
So just one, Benjamin.
AJ over here is the gambling expert of the trip.
Well, I'm not an expert. I'm a fan. If I was an
As a fan.
expert, I'd be. It's not.
You wouldn't
working
have
out.
lost to Benjamin.
Me and Posty, we're in the same boat.
AJ and I subscribe to the same the John Hyslop rules of gambling.
Slop.
Shout out to Slop. Good follow on Twitter. But yeah, my gambling hasn't gone great. The only thing I've really gambled on, because I've been so busy writing stories, interviewing 49ers. I put $5 on the animatronic horse races. Loaded up on 2 races on the wrong horse.
Yeah.
It was a disappointing start, but we'll be back on the table. Mark my words, we will be back, and I'll be starting on betting Buzzing Bee Band all over again because I love that name. But should we talk about what kind of stories we've been writing, guys? I know you talked about
Yes.
the Tayshaun Gibson story that you put together. So let's start with AJ. You put a story out about Chris Kocurek,
Yeah.
49ers defensive line coach.
Yeah.
Hell of a energy guy, big holdback guy on the sideline. I don't know if you've ever watched 49ers games, but I know some of the subscribers have. He's just a staple of this 49ers team. He's been here for a number of years. He's known for churning out great defensive linemen, either from when they're drafted with the 49ers or they get them taken in, maybe retreads from other teams that maybe were higher draft picks but didn't pan out. He takes them in. He does some great work. He's a great teacher of the defensive line. But tell the people what you found out in your article about him and in your conversation with Chris Kocurek.
Sure. So, this was my first taste of Coach Kocurek. I'm not really familiar with him. I didn't know that he had a holdback guy. But
Yeah.
he comes as advertised. He's super intense, looks you straight in the eye and loves to talk. He's not shy about telling us what his coaching philosophy is. He made it clear that, hey, I'm an intense guy. I'm demanding. I coach hard.
Yeah.
But that's because there's a standard that's been set. And he said, we started the season, sat down with my players. We set a standard that we want to live up to. And then we hold each other accountable. And you got to come in each day. You got to be better. You got to be able to put the work in. And there's no magic formula is basically what he said. You got to come in each day, work hard, get better each day, and then over the course of the season, it stacks up.
Yeah.
And it's funny you talked about him sort of liking the misfit toys, helping them along in their career. Because when I talked to Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator, he brought that up actually, and he said this is something that. So he pointed out 3 things about Kocurek: his ability to teach, he's a teacher; his ability to communicate. Says he can get his point across to his guys in a way that they understand, and then his ability to just coach hard and be there for his players. And his players responded in kind. I got to speak to Eric Armstead, Chase Young, Javon Hargrave, Juwan Kinlaw, Kevin Gibbons, and some one's a first round pick, some one's a guys come in for big money. One's on a record. Chase Young got traded. They all said the same thing. They have all learned something from him, even if it's 6 months or 5 years. And he's got them ready to go for Sunday. They all looked excited. They're all ready to go. Eric Armstead said, yeah, we just want to play balls to the wall, pardon my language. But yeah,
Oh,
he
no,
said we
you-
want to
you-
play with intensity and violence on Sunday.
Yeah, we can say balls on the cheap seats, I will say. We do have a studio audience here, I should say. Zoe Grossman, who's been on this program before. She is in the background in this, again, undisclosed hotel room in the MGM Grand. We also have my friend Trevor Yunt here today.
Is it Yunt?
Junt. I said Junt. That's what I said. Yeah, it's all right. I'm saying the German way. That's how they said it back in the old country, right?
Shout out Germany.
Shout out Germany. Shout out Germany. But thank you, AJ. No, it's fascinating to know that. I really love the piece that you put together. It's going to be a key part of this 49ers team, as it always is. I think they built this team around the defensive line. I think that's first and foremost how they Kyle Shanahan and his brain trust there really, and John Lynch, I should say, the GM. That's how they really want to develop this team because they give most of their money is tied up in the D line. If you look at the breakdown in terms of the percentage of annual value for the salaries, you got Bosa, you got Hargrave, who's on a big deal as a free agent. You got a bunch of guys that are getting paid. Armstead's on a big deal as well.
Yeah.
So, and obviously with the Chiefs and how they've been a lot better running the ball this year. I know we've talked about it in the past with Isaiah Pacheco and that offensive line that can really move people. That's going to be a key. Just game within the game to watch. Offensive line of the Chiefs and the defensive line of the Niners, and Kaceric's got his hands all over that. So I thought that was an insightful piece that you put together. Kaycee, what else have you been working on since last time? Maybe people should know about.
Well, so I guess kind of going back on to Sean, I was writing the story yesterday, and I got the idea of popping up to Radio Row, seeing the Pat McAfee show, and getting to speak with a former Wyoming Cowboy safety as well, Coach Chuck Pagano, Super Bowl winning coach with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
And didn't even put two and two together that Pagano coached the Bears as the defensive coordinator in 2019-2020.
Shout out
And
Bears.
Zoe's putting her fist in the air. Love the Bears.
I'm going to give a thumbs down to the Bears. but I forgive Pagano and Tashawn for being there because they're Wyoming guys. But Pagano coached Tashawn there for a year, and I got to speak to him about the connection in Wyoming, being both safeties from there, and also obviously coaching. And he just kind of reiterated the same thing a lot of the defensive backs and coaches of the Niners told me is, he's a silent leader, but great guy, and everyone listens when he does speak. So I got to work with that. I got to talk to Chuck a little bit yesterday, and then also this morning even I got to see him. But I've pivoted today a little away from some of the Super Bowl, covering a little bit more of the college here in Vegas, UNLV, and kind of giving an aspect and doing a video story on their transition from being the team of Vegas into kind of in this background role to the Raiders and the Golden Knights. And I think my favorite quote I got today, I went over to their campus and spoke with some of the students that were just kind of walking around. I found a journalism student actually walking around, and shout out journalism, and she gave me probably one of my favorite quotes that I've gotten for it was that they haven't in her classes there's a lot of talk about sports and games from some of her classmates and stuff. She wasn't as interested in that, but there's a lot of talk of all that. And I asked, okay, what exactly are they talking about? And it was a lot of Raiders and Golden Knights. And I said, well, what about UNLV? And she says, oh, they don't care about that. And so I think that really shows a lot of the change that's occurring here in Vegas of how UNLV has taken this back seat to what is
pro sports city now.
Yeah.
It's almost become saturated now with the soon-to-be Las Vegas A's coming to town. It seems like nobody even cares that they're coming. I've seen a few A's hats pop up here and again, and I get excited because I'm like, oh, Oakland, but I'll remember that they might be coming here. But hey, it's not set in stone. John Fisher's having some issues, so we hope that he works through them because I love John Fisher.
Hey, here's a question for you, Dom. Do you think the A's fans right now, who are like the Oakland A's fans, would they travel and would they become Las Vegas A's fans? Like, would they still continue to support the team, or is it gonna be like this when the San Diego Chargers moved to LA?
Yeah.
I know a lot of their fans left town.
Yeah, I feel like for the Chargers moving, because they just moved to LA, I know it's obviously a big rival with San Diego and it's a different city, but it's not too far from there, and I still think there are still Charger fans that live in San Diego that still root on the team because I think they're just part of them. But I don't know if Oakland A's fans will follow the team to Las Vegas. I'm speaking for myself. I definitely won't be a fan of the team. Mostly it's because of John Fisher. If they had a more of an honest owner who actually tried legitimately to keep him in Oakland, maybe I would consider staying on. But I'm loyal to the East Bay. I'm loyal to the Bay Area. I'm loyal to my Oakland A's. Don't want to be anywhere else. So it's a shame what's going on. We talked about it at length in this program. So we're not going to talk about that now. But that is one of the pro sports franchises that are coming out here. But like you said, Aces, Knights, Raiders, all these maybe an NBA team.
Yeah.
I will say, I also, for that same video, I spoke with, he's the color analyst for UNLV basketball and football for radio and television, and I spoke with him this morning, and I was kind of talking about these professional sports, and he thought NBA coming to town, that's going to really hurt UNLV, especially like basketball-wise.
Right.
I brought up the A's possibly coming, and his thought was, it's not going to affect anything. There's
Wow.
Wow. He didn't say it this exactly, but I think his thought process was, if you had to rank them all in terms of popularity among them, UNLV is still going to be above the A's or whatever they are called if they do come here.
Yeah,
that's almost an insult.
Well, I'm not surprised, and it's shocking that a consistent 100-loss baseball team is not inspiring people to buy in, because John Fisher, how much has he invested in that ball club? The last 18 years that he's owned it. So I wouldn't be if they're coming to my town. Why would I be excited that they're going to be here? They're going to build the smallest stadium in the MLB. They don't really even have a plan, a real concept of what the stadium's going to be like. They just have a plot of land that they own somehow from the Tropicana that's might be torn down soon. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know why I would be excited. So that is a strange kind of undercurrent, but not a ton of A's that I've seen out here that I've heard chatter from. I know there's been some stories, and I think Manfred had a press conference and just talked about he's a little concerned about it. So shocking that he's all of a sudden like, oh, this isn't a good idea to have a pro baseball team barnstorming and playing in Salt Lake City, Sacramento, et cetera, for the next 5 years or more until the stadium is built. So let's not talk about that anymore. It is Friday night in Vegas, and it feels like a lot more people are in town since the last time that we put this video together. So it's definitely packed out there, boys.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a lot of Niner fans here. I know there's a good balance. I've seen some Chiefs fans. They're loud as well, but
there's more Niner fans.
I can't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I was biased. I needed to confirm.
There's definitely more Niners fans. This is
faithful to the Bay. They're out here. We travel. I saw. Oh gosh, I have to pull up the stat. I don't want to misquote it. But Pompliano put out a tweet, which I thought was very impressive from 49er fans today, or just in the last couple weeks. The San Francisco 49ers have done $25 million in merchandise sales over the last 2 weeks, including 100,000 jerseys sold since the end of the regular season, an NFL record. That is wild, is what Joe said.
Nice.
I will say, shout out to the faithful. I guess some people are hopping on the bandwagon now, which we're always open to having more people on the train. We are a great NFL franchise. We could win our 6th Lombardi Trophy on Sunday, so I'm all for it. What do you think of that, Kaycee?
I'm not all for it.
Kaycee is a Packer fan over here.
I was a little salty.
Would that make them level with the Packers, or because the 6th would? Because only the Steelers have 6, right?
The Packers, they may only have 4 Super Bowls.
Oh, so you guys are far behind.
But 13 World Championships.
So we're going pre-66 or whatever, the first Super Bowl.
Curly Lambeau.
Hey, I only respect the Super Bowl era, that's all I'm going to say.
Is this like the Ivy League stats of like Harvard and Yale?
No, it's the Michigan stats of kicking the school for the depth, back in the day.
Good win. National champions cannot take it away.
Yeah,
unless they do, but for now they won't.
They could vacate it. Maybe that's why Jim started running the NFL. But yeah, NFL news. Navarro Bowman, 49er great, joining Jim Harbaugh's staff in the LA Chargers.
Always be San Diego.
As a linebacking coach, I think that's a great hire. unbiased, of course, as a great 49er linebacker. I think that's a great hire for them. Also, Patrick Willis in the Hall of Fame, which I was going to get to that. I knew that. Which I'm so happy for my guy. It's been a long time coming. I think he missed out the last 2 votes. He got close. I think he was like a finalist, but didn't become in the actual enshrining ceremony. So, love Patrick Willis. Love that guy. Some of the best memories of 49er football happened with Patrick Willis. Number 52 on the field. They put together, the 49ers put out a video congratulating him, and it made me want to run through a brick wall just hearing him speak. So I'm saying, if I'm Jeb York, I would fly that man out here.
Yeah.
I think he already is in Vegas because he was at the NFL Honors.
Right.
So he's here. So let's get him in the locker room. Maybe put some pads on him, let him play a little bit. That's what I would say. Patrick Willis is a great. So I know other people in that class, maybe some Bears that were in that Hall of Fame class. Devin Hester.
Do you think it deserved to be in there?
Who?
Devin Hester.
I
Can
think
he be
so.
in the Hall of Fame?
I think so. I think kick returners, punt returners, they got to have some respect in there, and he was probably the greatest to ever do it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see Deion Sanders play. I know he was pretty talented at it, but I think in terms of the numbers and returns, I think Devin Hester was number 1.
A completely unbiased opinion. I think Devin Hester deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I completely agree.
But shout out also Packers legend Julius Peppers.
Yeah, and Bears legend actually. You don't forget that he played for the Bears as well.
He's a trick. That's all I can say.
Well, I will say I think the whole list was deserving. I thought there's some really great players that Andre Johnson made it too. I think right.
Yes,
am I
so.
correct? So.
Yeah.
I think the whole list is deserving. I think sometimes you get guys who are like, I don't know if they deserve to be there. I think this one's pretty legit. Football usually is pretty legit for the guys that get in. I feel like baseball gets a little wacky. But I don't want to go down that road.
No. But speaking of the NFL honors,
Yes.
And on the topic of deserving versus not deserving,
Please.
Defensive Player of the Year, did they get it right?
Yeah, they won Myles Garrett, right?
They won Myles
his
Garrett.
first one of his career.
Yep.
So I feel like they wanted to give him one as first, but I have to check what the numbers bore out. I think T.J. Watt probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have penciled in T.J. Watt for the last several years. I know Bosa put up some crazy numbers last year when Watt was hurt for a lot of it, but when he's healthy, he's probably still the best defensive player in the league. But I mean, Myles Garrett was pretty. I don't know. I feel like it was a kind of diluted pool of defensive players to choose from this year.
Yeah. I think the issue with Myles Garrett was his play fell off the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But like you said, this seems more of a lifetime achievement award more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like
For past performance.
Yeah, it's like Embiid getting one last year. It's,
They're like, all right, you don't have to complain so much. We'll give you one.
There you go.
And now he's not even going to hit the minimum or the game.
Hey, I'm curious to know who you guys have seen at Radio Row the last Media Row. Sorry, Media Row the last couple weeks, couple days. That Scott Sherrod. I don't know. Joe Montana was there, but
you saw Joe. Joe was there in the flesh. I think Alicia and I were just watching him there. But he was there, and then Terrell Owens was getting interviewed at the same time with his shades on and everything. So 2 Niner greats there. That was good to see. I don't know. You saw some other famous people.
Yeah, I've seen several. Matty Ice was there.
Right.
I think day 1 I saw, or day 1 or 2. I was just taking a stroll. Matty Ice. You look over, like right across the way, there's Drew Brees getting interviewed. That was cool. Eli was over there several days. I know
some gritty players.
I know. My guy Jay Love there today.
Jordan Love.
But I think the top of it all, everyone. If you watched the last episode, if you just watched 5-10 minutes ago,
the recap. Yeah.
Wyoming, Josh Allen. That one's pretty good. I got a photo almost, in a sense, peering around his shoulder with a big grin on my face.
It is a great photo.
With my head only about to his shoulder here. So it was good. Got a few words said to him and let him know about Wyoming and everything about that.
So I mean, anybody else that you want to shout out that you've seen around?
Well, David Chang, I saw he was getting interviewed by The Athletic. Robert Mays doing it in a hot dog because he lost a bet, I think is what he said, but pulled it off pretty impressively. It almost made me want to get a hot dog costume, but yeah, so Robert Mays, David Chang, and I got to speak today with Dan Patrick and He was leaving the Pat McAfee
The
set.
man
Just
himself.
talk to him, give him, just introduce myself and talk to his producer, longtime producer Paul Pabst, Chicago guy, big Bears fan. Yeah, he was standing next to me and talked for a couple of minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
Rubbing elbows.
Yeah.
I like it, AJ.
Yeah.
All right. Should we? Anything else you guys want to discuss before we sign off? I will say, so I think we'll have this show tonight for Friday. We're going to wrap this up pretty quick just to give you an overview of what we've seen so far. But I think we're going to come on tomorrow, at least before, and put it out before the Super Bowl starts, kind of more of a preview of the actual game, kind of with the knowledge that we've accrued over this past week in Las Vegas. We'll say a little bit colder today. We got the CBS set tour earlier this afternoon. That was pretty cool. They have a large compound, I would say, of just multiple stages, multiple sets that they have set up in front of the Bellagio fountain, which is pretty wild. They had to do a lot of heavy lifting, kind of sitting over the water a little bit. So pretty cool backdrop, and we got to look in the trucks and everything like that. So that was a really cool insight into what all goes in to all the setup, all of the production behind everything going on Super Bowl week. So that was really cool to see. It was right on the Strip. I got to do some more reporting on another story I have coming out soon about animal therapy. So I got to hang out with some dogs today. That was good for the soul. And then my story in Aaron Banks should be coming out soon, I think tomorrow morning. We'll see. So I'll be sure to share that on the Cheap Seats Substack feed as well, just to make sure everybody's linked to that. And then I have one other story cooking on Ambry Thomas and Diamador Lenore, DBs in the 49ers backfield. They were drafted at the same time. Got some good insight from them and some coaches. So that's coming down the pipe. But in general, Radio Row, Media Row wrapped up today. It was dead by the time we were getting out of there. Everybody's packed up and they don't do much shows on Saturday, I guess.
Yeah.
But the fan experience is definitely filling up. There's more and more fans gradually over these days that we've been here. So it's getting to actually feel like the Super Bowl now.
Yep.
The casinos are getting full. People are gambling. People are having fun. And we've seen some NFL players in the MGM, maybe on this very floor, Kaycee, that are hanging out with us now.
Yeah, I rode the elevator with two of them. Going down last night, we got Le'Veon Bell,
legend,
and his group, and then coming back up after some time on the tables, I believe Stephon Gilmore had just gotten here.
Patriots legend. Shout out Gilmore, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Last DB to get it.
He's a far cry from that with the Cowboys this year, but it's all right.
It's all right.
I saw Daniel Jones duck into an elevator right behind me. So yeah, great celebrities and great football players here in the MGM. You never know who you're going to see. It's been fun. We're going to get to the table soon tonight and try our luck a little bit more. I know AJ has been up and down, a little roller coaster.
Yeah. Just down.
Kaycee, not very great. So I need to. I burned $5 on the animatronic horses, so now I need to put a little bit more money in, get on the blackjack tables, and see what happens. So this is night 2, we're calling it, but Friday night in Las Vegas. Just want to give another update for the Cheap Seats subscribers. We'll be back to you very soon to give our last update from the Super Bowl, do a little preview show. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Kaycee.
Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Signing
Thanks
off.
to the Cheap Seats listeners.
Shout out. Cheap Seats.